Co-curricular activities. For business majors, one important outside activity is to be able to find and analyze real-world data. This enables students to test the ideas that they've learned in school and see how they match up with reality. Now, of course, there's quite a few nice websites on the internet these days, all of which are completely dedicated to finance and other related areas. And what's great about these websites is that they not only have a lot of up-to-date news, but they often offer real-time downloadable data that you can use for research projects. Some of my favorites are finance.yahoo.com, valueline.com, cnbc.com, and morningstar.com. So why don't we take a look at finance.yahoo.com first and analyze for a few minutes the value of Apple stock. Okay, so we go to finance.yahoo.com and we enter their ticker symbol, AAPL, and you'll discover, first of all, that they will show us the current situation with Apple's stock price. At the moment, the stock is selling for $196.37, and you can see it trades on the NASDAQ exchange. And this is a very recent history of the price, which we can stretch out if we want to, for example, to year to date. And you can see that Apple had a pretty good year this year. Way back here in last January, we had a price of $196.35, and then it's been steadily climbing. Sorry, it was $157.92, and it's been steadily climbing ever since to $196.35. Now, down here, you'll find a lot of very key financial ratios, which are very helpful in analyzing the performance of the stock. For example, the beta, which is a measure of the stock's risk. 0.91 means that it's slightly less risky than the overall market. Of interest to investors are the earnings per share, which means if I own a share of the stock, how much am I actually getting back in terms of net income? And that could be distributed in the form of retained earnings, but also in the form of capital gains. Now, if we need more information, we can come up here and look at statistics, and you'll see that we have quite a bit of useful information here. In fact, they have many of the most important financial ratios already calculated for us. And then if that's not enough, we also have financials, which means they've actually shown us the income statement the last 4 years for Apple stock, as well as the balance sheet. Okay, now if you know have any background in finance, you know that these are two of the most important statements that we can look at when it comes time to analyzing a stock's performance. And of course, if we need it, we also have the statement of cash flows, which essentially organizes what we saw in the previous two statements into a very convenient format. Now, suppose we're interested in analyzing the historical price of Apple stock. We go over here to historical data. And you can see that all the recent prices are listed. We've got the open price, the high, low, and close, which means that during the trading day on April 6th, Apple stock opened at $196.45. It got as high as $197.10. It dropped as low as $195.95, and eventually it closed at $196.36. This last column, adjusted close, means that the price has been adjusted for dividends, if any. And this is the trading volume. Over 7 million shares traded hands on the 5th. And so, in fact, the day isn't even over yet, and still already we see that over 7 million shares have traded hands. So this is a very popular stock. You can download this very easily. You can see the download data, and if you want this data, it'll just give it to you directly in an Excel spreadsheet. And so you can see how convenient this is. Once we have this data in our spreadsheet, we can analyze it to our heart's content. And we can also go back further if we want to. In other words, here I've just let it give me 1 year's worth of data, but I can also choose to go back all the way to the beginning of the company's existence if I want to. So you can see the potential for this website is enormous, and I think it's a good idea to become familiar with websites like this one, because you never know when you might need to use this data for some type of analysis. Now, CNBC.com is another good source of financial information. This one is not so much data-oriented as news-oriented. And in fact, let's go take a look at today's CNBC page, and you can see we do have the market indexes that we are interested in, typically. For example, the Dow Jones is going up $45 today already, back up to the $26,000 territory. The Standard & Poor's 500 is going up. And you can see the green tells us that all of these are moving up, which is good. Now, the VIX is one of those rare indexes where going up is actually bad. The VIX represents volatility, so if volatilities are dropping, the market is stable, and that's actually a good sign. Across the top, you can see we can have access to news from all kinds of different markets if we need it. And here we have the news of the day. Of course, today's big news is that the job growth in March was enormous, quite a bit higher than anybody ever expected. And that's good news, especially since the job market was weak in February. We also have news about just about every other topic you can imagine. And so this is a great place to look every day to keep on top of what's going on in the marketplace. So in general, whether you're majoring in finance or any other business-related field, one of your top priorities is to make yourself familiar with all these great websites, because it can only help you not only with your job, but also with your own personal finances.